Welcome to Let's Talk About It. A podcast gives a platform for real talk, real people, real topics, real conversations. Please subscribe, like, comment, enjoy this journey, and enjoy this ride. Welcome to this week's episode. Welcome everybody to Let's Talk About It. A podcast gives a platform for real talk, real people, real topics, real conversations. Now, today I got my man back, my co-host on Wrastle Talk, Mario Castro. Yeah, I mean, right, we gonna revisit his story from episode 4. If you go back on the podcast, go back to episode 4. He had a weight loss journey called Unstoppable. His whole weight loss journey, we talked about how he wanted to get down to 17% body fat. We talked about his ups and downs, his struggles. Go back and visit that. But we're going to update that version today. Because right now, we have some fans out there that might be curious about my MC, my co-host on Wrastle Talk, especially his little buddy S-Man over there in India. So, which he's not a fan of mine. Mario, what's going on, bro? How you feeling today?
Hello, feeling good.
Mario, we're gonna have a conversation today. You was on the podcast before. We do a co-host together on Wrastle Talk, which is starting to get some momentum now. About time this comes out. We already recorded an episode for Wrastle Talk. It's already came out already. So about time this comes out, we'll probably have 12 or 13 in. Before we get back into your journey, right? How do you feel about being sometimes the host, sometimes the co-host on Wrastle Talk, but for your love of WWE wrestling? How do you feel about that right now?
I actually feel good about it. I can manage the two separately because, it's different hats that you wear. I know for Wrestle Talk, I prepare so much for everything, how I want to open up the show, to what I need to mention on our show, to writing down our predictions, to writing down what I think, versus now we're just having a conversation. All I'm doing is telling stories about myself.
Yep. And we're gonna talk about you, bro. When we visited last time, a couple months ago, we first came on the show, you know, I was inspired by all your inspirational videos on TikTok and stuff like that. And because you do inspire a lot of people, you still do inspirational videos today. You want to get down to 17% body fat, but it was a journey to get to that. And so before we start that journey, I want to talk about young Mario. Coming up a little bit, if whatever you feel like discussing, what's comfortable for you, where you grew up at, stuff like that. Young Mario up until your high school days.
Well, as a younger kid, it was mostly me and my brother Daniel growing up together. We was kind of into sports, mostly baseball. Like to play basketball out at the house, at the garage. We were never much into football, although I did play much later in life during high school. Um, as a kid, as a young kid, always had to walk to school. We never had any buses really to pick us up, or my mom and dad had a tough time trying to get us to school, so we had to walk sometimes, a lot of times alone.
Yeah.
My dad was the only one that was working. A lot of times at school, I was picked on as a kid for how big I was or how different my voice sounded. So that wasn't really so much enjoyable. Um, I was always the type of person that didn't have so many friends. So if I have one person and me and that one person would stick together.
Yeah.
I'm not a big social person.
Mm.
I'm not saying I'm antisocial. I'm just very selective about the people who I surround myself with.
Yeah.
In this day, you have to be. Um, I can say I'm a little adventurous.
Okay.
Mostly now, just hardworking, because that was
Okay.
my upbringing as a kid, and that was one thing my dad always inspired me to do is to work hard in whatever you're doing,
Mm.
because his life wasn't so easy either, having to work all the time just to provide for a family of four, which later on he became five. Um, so yeah, that was me at a young age, young Mario. Also played football in high school, much like I said, much later.
Mm.
So yeah, that was young Mario.
Yeah, I can tell you, man, that's kind of interesting because when I was coming up, I don't know how much you watched my story, but yeah, I was, I was teased about some shit, because I had a chronic stutter. I mean, I still stutter here and there, but dude, I couldn't get the damn words out. I mean, I was like, my whole body was shaking and shit, right?
Yeah,
And being teased by it, and the friendship stuff with me, it was kind of like I had to do stupid shit to try and get to be their friend, you know, making myself look like a damn fool. I grew up with a single parent mom. My grandmother, she was kind of like your dad. Hard work. It's about hard working. I mean, I'm talking about, dude. I was scrubbing the damn kitchen floor, the damn scrub brush, and the mop. I mean, not mop, but brush. At 7 years old, because as she told me that's a hard work you gotta do on your hands and knees and shit like that. So I get you on that one. I know before we get to high school years, right? I mean, I assume that you fell in love with what, like professional wrestling at an early age, right?
my dad when he was, I want to say when he was 16, 17, he moved from Mexico to Houston, and then that's around the time when wrestling was starting to become popular, especially in Houston, Texas, with Paul Bosch,
Yeah.
Houston Wrestling. And I was always get told the stories about how they used to go every Friday night or on the weekends and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And saw the big name performers like Ted DiBiase or Hacksaw Jim Duggan back in the days. And my dad has always been a fan of wrestling, especially karate movies. And I'm not talking about the karate movie, like the Karate Kid movies. I'm talking about the uh, real karate kickboxing movies with Asian actors, them type
Yes.
of movies. My dad
Love
was
those.
always into that.
Love
So
those.
that, for me, it was boring. I didn't like it. I hated
What?
it.
That's
I,
the best movies ever, man.
I couldn't get into it when I was younger. My dad did get me into wrestling because he would watch wrestling just about every weekend. And I think in those days, we had to stay up late Saturday night just to be able to catch the reruns or the replays that came on local TV. And that's what got me hooked on wrestling. I think back then, it was back when Hulkamania was born, was starting
Gotcha.
to get real into it. I remember the Macho Man, Andre the Giant, Jimmy Snuka. That's how far back I go into wrestling.
Okay. All right. Now I need you to just move back a little bit. There you go. There you go. Because it's cutting off the top of your head.
Ah,
So let me ask you something here, right? Before you got into football, right? Like, no, because I remember you said like when you played football, you was like around 260, somewhere around that age, like
yeah,
260 pounds.
I was around 260 pounds around when I was 18 years old.
Okay. So like what made you even like you say you wasn't really into sports like that. So what made you even want to play football?
For the longest I could remember, my mom didn't want me to play football because I had some sort of hearing loss, and she was afraid that if I played, that it would destroy my hearing. And this was back in middle school, so I just kind of like told the coach, "Hey, I'm not going to be able to do it. My mom don't want me to do it." I didn't tell him the reason why. I kept that very personal and private. Uh, to a lot of extent, I still keep that part personal and private. I don't really talk too much about it because I don't
Got
want to be viewed as a person with a disability. I don't
yeah.
see it like that.
Mm,
So that's what kind of made me not really get into it until my senior year in high school. Mm, Someone came to me and says, "You need to play. I promise you, you won't regret it." And after thinking about it for so long, I'm like, but my mom and dad wants me to work. They don't really want me to be playing football or sports right now. So I made a decision to, what? It's the last year of high school. Let's just go out with a bang. So I joined the football team,
mm,
my senior year of high school. Didn't work until a little bit later after I had graduated from high school. So that year was an awesome year, my senior year of high school. Got to
okay.
play. I want to say during the end of the season, either at the practice game or the last game, I landed on my back incorrectly, which left me on the bed. It left me lying on the bed the next day where I could not get up. I was in so much pain.
Wow.
To get up was extremely crucial, extremely painful. I could not move. I told my mom, I remember because my dad was so mad because I had to help him the next day after the football game to
Yeah.
do something, and I couldn't do it. I told him I can't get up. Something's going on with me,
Wow.
and we couldn't figure out what it was. I want to say the pain did not go away until like after a week or two later. I
Okay.
want to say about the second day, second or third day, I was able to like get up out of bed, but I was still in so much pain.
Okay. Ha- have you always now? You said right, you was like a bigger kid, right? When you was younger, right?
Yeah,
Is that something that has been out throughout high school?
yeah, yeah. Definitely has because
Okay.
I still remember wearing a 2X shirt and a size 40 pants during that time.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. So you got hurt. You hurt your back in high school. And like, you know what I mean? So after you graduate high school, the way I remember, right, you start working, right? What was that when you decided you wanted to become a police officer?
When I was in college, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do yet. I mean, I was trying all these different courses and really wasn't succeeding at it and was changing courses, dropping out of courses, not really doing so well in school. I wasn't the type of person that was able to pass a test.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you things, I can probably explain things very detailed.
Yeah.
But as far as passing the test, I suck at it. For whatever reason, I just bombed tests,
Got it.
even though I
Me
know the
too.
information. So after you bomb the first test, you start second guessing yourself.
Yeah.
And when you start second guessing yourself, that's a bad combination to fail. And, eventually I wanted to stop going to college. I think I probably did like 2 years worth before I started getting into security.
Okay.
And once I started working security, I worked at different sporting events, a couple of malls before I got into uh, the college campus security, where I'm
Okay.
at right now.
Got it. Now, but you said in your last episode, right, you wanted to become a police officer for the Houston Police Department, right? You wanted to do law enforcement.
The University of Houston Police Department, where I'm at right now.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, so I started back in 2010
Okay.
when I first started. So I came in as a regular employee, a security officer. I moved my way up to supervisor, and the next goal was to become a police officer.
Okay. But you said on that one, but they want you to lose weight.
They wanted me to get in shape. I wasn't exactly told to lose weight. I was told by doctors that I needed to lose weight. I
Right.
had
'Cause
I had different doctors that told me that I need to lose weight um, because I couldn't manage the back pain. It got so bad to the point where I was in constant pain. I couldn't. It was the back pain was happening on a regular basis versus every now and then. Um, I wasn't going to be able to do the physical activities
Mm.
that the cadet program was going to require me to do, as
Yeah.
far as simple exercises, the running that I was supposed to be doing. I do remember trying to get ready for it, but when I wasn't picked or actually failed the exam, I stopped giving a shit
Oh.
because I wasn't getting what I wanted.
So, these back pains. This is from the high school injury.
Yeah,
Wow. All right. So it's been a couple of years. You've been dealing with this lower back pain, and you wanted to, at the time, which you were there now, you wanted to be with the Houston University Police Department. But I remember you said you took it a couple of times
it's
and like
been
and failed that subject. Like, what was if you can remember, what was the hardest part? Because I know you said you know you don't do good in testing, which I
it,
suck more than anybody else in testing. Well,
it's a comprehension test of definitions, reading, and math. So I remember taking one that was 25 multiple choice questions, and then there was another one where it was 100 multiple choice questions,
damn.
and I failed them both. And each time I'm second guessing myself, well, maybe that's not the answer. This is the answer. But, you know, when I actually took it this last time, I'm going to say last year,
Mm.
I passed it. They didn't tell me the grade. They just told me I passed. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. I know my shit. I'm just need to stop second guessing myself.
All right. So at this time, okay, you're going through. This is back 2010, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going through back pain. Right. You failed the test a couple of times, right? They want you to get more in shape to do this. At that time, like, what was like going through your head, like mentally? Because that's a lot to take in at this time.
Mentally, when I felt it the first couple of times, I'm like, this isn't for me anymore. I don't want to do this. I wanted to move on to something else. I just didn't know what. I felt
Yeah.
stuck in the position that I was in. It didn't seem like it was going to get any better than what I was doing at that time. I didn't know what else to do since I didn't finish college.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, being stuck in that position was really uncomfortable for me.
Mm.
So it really, how can I put it? I was at a place with no direction in my life.
Huh, I've been there. Shit. I've been there too many times, brother. Trust me, trust me. So at this time, you going through it all. And you said in the last interview, right, that you was like you actually ballooned up, right? I think you got, and I don't know, this is the point where before you got married or after you got married.
After I got married, I started gaining more weight. Uh, I want to say back in 2018
Mm.
was my heaviest weight at 340 pounds. I did not even realize that I weighed that much. How all of this became about is that and I was working night shift. Uh, there was one time where I was starting to get sick. And you know how like you cough or sneeze, you start
Yeah.
feeling some kind of pressure or some kind of congestion.
Mm.
Well, this one time I had this wasn't pressure or congestion because I think you would know the difference if something was going on with your chest versus a particular place on your heart.
Yeah.
So it was this when I sneezed. I can't remember if I sneezed or cough. I think I sneezed. And I felt some kind of pressure here. And I'm like, okay, that's not normal. So I just kind of ignored it. I just thought that I was getting sick or whatever. Fight through it, whatever. And as time went on, you know, the pressure was getting more intense. And I'm like, there's no way that this can be a heart attack, you know. And I remember telling my wife, you know, I'm not feeling good right now. You know, something going on with me.
Yeah.
And I was describing to her all the symptoms and exactly how it all happened.
Mm.
And she couldn't figure it out either. So when, I want to say after about maybe a little bit over a week, the pain got so intense where she actually had to take me to the emergency room at Methodist Hospital.
Mm.
And when we got there, I don't remember much. I just remember lying in a bed. Um, the doctors was telling me that my blood pressure was high, my EKG numbers was off. They ran CAT scans on my heart, my chest, and my eyes on my heart and my chest. They also did what's that thing called? Where they put you into some kind of scope and then they put something on your fingers to make it seem like you're, I guess, urinating on your pants, but it's not urination. It's some kind of tingling feeling that makes you feel like that.
I
I
think I
don't,
know what you're talking about. I forgot the name of it.
but they put me through all them kind of tests and could not figure out what was going on with me. All I knew, all they knew is that my EKG numbers was off, and they didn't know why. And that's when I got sent to a cardiologist. The cardiologist ran more tests on me, put me on nitroglycerin because he even saw that something was going on, but couldn't figure it out. But after a while, all the tests came back clear. They couldn't find anything. Took me off the nitroglycerin because I wasn't taking that crap anymore.
Mm.
And actually had a one-on-one with me. My wife was right there too. And he told me that he never met anyone where they were in perfect health but couldn't really figure out what was going on with them. That it's
What?
very rare for
Wow.
him to meet with someone like that, considering that my family history has a line of being diabetic,
Mm.
high blood pressure, and all kinds of other medical issues that's going on. But
Mary, let me ask you something, right? So this is from 2000 to 2000, 2010 to 2018.
yeah,
You put on a lot of weight. You was up to 340. Like, do you remember, or if you feel comfortable talking about, was it just like bad eating habits, or you just wasn't really mindful of it? I mean, what do you think it was to gain that much weight?
I think it was a combination of bad eating habits, stress, always being angry, not exercising. Because I remember I said that I was trying to get ready for the academy previously, but I didn't
Yeah,
give a shit. I
yeah,
remember before my daughter was born, I was trying to get back in shape. At that time, when my daughter was born, my wife bought a stroller for me to be able to push our daughter around when I go running. My
yeah,
wife had also bought me a bicycle to use. I stopped doing that, which was a big mistake on my part.
yeah.
To this day, I regretted it. Um, I It's a combination of a lot of things, not getting what I want. I think at that time I was more concerned about getting a position that I wasn't guaranteed to get, which is
Mm.
probably the reason why I was doing it. But other than that, no, there's no particular reason. It's a combination of a whole bunch of different things.
Okay. So now you're 340. You working, I think you say you working night shift, which, night shift for people who work night shift, that shit's fucking terrible. That's just god awful. I remember those damn days, man. That shit was fucking ridiculous for me. Working night shift, right? You went in the hospital. They couldn't figure this shit out with you. And when they told you was 340 and you said, okay, I don't know how I got to it, whatever, like, How did you feel at that moment when you heard that number, 340? That's a lot, if you can remember.
Oh, I felt like it was more stress, more shit that I had to deal with that I didn't want to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the doctor, and this is the cardiologist was actually the second doctor who told me I had to lose weight. He wanted me to get off night shift because at that time I wasn't getting any sleep. I was actually staying up for multiple days at a time. I think the longest I ever stayed up was maybe about 3, 4 days, 5 at
Damn.
most.
Shit.
And I was drinking Red Bull energy drinks, Monsters.
That's no good for you.
And
No.
it's definitely no good. I mean, it's used
Uh,
to, and I'm not gonna. I'll just put it to you like this: if guys read the ingredients, know what you're drinking, it really will change the way you wanna, I guess, feel.
mm,
I know for me, I just wanted to feel like I'm awake, but after a certain while, when I crashed or couldn't sleep, it was hard for me to sleep,
mm.
and that wasn't doing any good for me either. So the
Okay.
doctor said I had to get off night shift, I had to get more sleep, I had to be less angry, I needed to start working out more,
Mm.
I needed to start eating differently, and this was all things that people told me in the past, whether it was from work, whether it was from a previous doctor, whether it was from my wife originally wanted me to do. And so finally it got to a point where, okay, I don't know how I'm going to do all this. You're asking a lot from me to do, which I had no clear direction how I was going to get this done. I still had to deal with back pain issues because I had to get an injection on my lower back, which was not fun at all. If you ever, if anyone ever had a lower injection on your back, that will probably tell you if they went through the same experience that I went through. It doesn't last. It's only temporarily. I think for me, it'll probably maybe last a month where I can do things.
Damn.
And then I had to deal with them back pain issues again.
Now, this is the point where I think your doctor, they advise you to do the gastric bypass.
Little bit more later, little bit more later during the pandemic. I want to say
That's it. Yeah, 2020. There you go.
during the pandemic, and everyone was facing issues, whether it's health, work, relationships, you name it. That was a wake up call because my third doctor at that time, who told me I had to lose weight, said that this isn't a good spot that I'm in, considering where I was working, and people was dying of COVID. And she mentioned that if there was a chance that I had COVID and caught the flu at the same time, that I would not survive it. As big as I was, I could not survive it with the chest pains that I'm describing to her, especially when they don't even know what's going on with me.
Is that
And
more like a respiratory thing right there?
I want to say, yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah, that's what affected a lot of people
Mm,
and during that time. So she wanted me to lose the weight. I've been struggling to lose that weight for the last 2 years since 2018.
mm.
Nothing I was doing was working. I didn't know what to do. And I was at a point where it was basically do it my way or do it hers. And I did not want to do it her way.
Mm. I think, and so you decided against the surgery. Now I think you started walking in the park. You started taking walks in the park and stuff like that. And I remember you said this. And actually, I wanted to ask you this shit last time. You ran into a woman, right? She gave you some advice. at first you wasn't with it. You ain't know who the fuck she was. You ain't know who she was and whatever. Did this woman who gave you this advice? I want you to tell the people what type of advice did she give you, and who was this woman exactly? Like, walk us through that part of the journey because that woman actually put you on a path that changed your life.
This woman is a business owner at the moment. At that time, she was just a coach that worked through Herbalife. She approached me, says that she does certain things, and that she had noticed me walking around the park and wanted to know what was my goals.
Mm,
And I told her I just need to lose some weight, that I'm struggling right now. I want to try to do it on my own, kind of brushed her off. She gave me her card. She said, well, when you're ready, give me a call. And I'm like, okay. So going back and forth between the doctor, not losing weight. Uh, the doctor said that she wasn't gonna wait any longer, considering what I was doing, considering what was going on at that time. And I'm like, uh, everything was coming at me from different directions, from work, health, relationships.
mm.
I mean, I was just feeling it. I was at the point where I literally just wanted to end everything. And it came to a point where certain things had to be hidden from me so I wouldn't hurt myself.
Yeah,
And
I've been there. I've been there.
I remember thinking to myself, there's other ways if that was really going to happen.
Yeah.
But I kept on fighting it. I kept on fighting those feelings. And I remember how my mom told me that my grandfather, how he always used to believe in God. No, let me make that correction. How he believed in God and that miracles work. And because one time he always prayed that he lived long enough till my mom was 18 years old. And this is how real it gets. The moment after my mom had turned 18 in January of 1980, about 2, 3 months later, my grandfather had passed away. And that was the year before I was born.
Mm-hmm.
He passed away in 1980. I was born in 1981. So that just brought, that's what's going on in my mind. I'm like, and my grandfather believed in this so much.
Mm,
Spiritually, I needed help
mm,
to get to that point, to not have them thoughts anymore. And that's it was at the same time I was going to the park, met the lady, and that's all that was on my mind. You know, it felt like I was still a little bit closer to my grandfather.
mm.
It finally gave me the courage to go to Rachel and tell her, hey, I need help. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. None of the gyms are open. I ain't got a chance out here. So she gave me a packet to go through, simple instructions. The instruction was to have 2 meals, 2 replacement meals, 2 snacks, and 1 meal. Not ideally calorie wise, but these were unreasonable times. I
Mm.
didn't have a gym available to me. All I had was a park. So you're working off calorie numbers versus what you're able to lose.
Wow.
Mostly protein. That's how I did it. From September of 2020 all the way up until April of 2021.
Hmm. Wow. That's so. You said majority protein, right? So
Yeah.
when you went up, when you had this meal plan, how hard was that, bro? Because we talking like I don't know how your eating habits was before that. I know how they are now, man. Because you get down with your fucking food and shit. You know what I mean? So I can imagine what you would. I can imagine what you eating before. How hard was that to make that transition to like, okay, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna eat this, this, and this to that meal plan? Because I know that has to be difficult.
I think during pre-pandemic, I was eating whatever the hell I want. Buffets, when we go out to restaurants, multiple appetizers along with, the entree and then having to eat more food and
God
not
damn,
being
how much you
satisfied.
eat? Damn, boy, shit, damn, shit, damn.
I
What you had like
put,
8 plates?
Lou, I'll put it to you like this.
Yeah.
When I was working nights, my wife did not want me to spend so much money that I went ahead and the first meal I got was probably Jack in the Box or Taco Bell.
Shit.
My next meal was a full-on meal that the department picked up or my supervisor picked up, and we ate good. We don't eat like shit. We ate good. There's a difference. We ate probably burgers, um, what's the big old steak omelet,
Damn.
with hash browns and bread. What else did we eat? We ate, what was my favorite?
Just say
Philadelphia
everything,
cheesesteak.
motherfucker. You ate every damn thing. Shit.
Pretty much. Pretty
God
much.
damn.
Pretty
So wait a
much.
minute. How hard was that to a protein diet? Because I heard protein diets was I kind of do it too. That's a big difference, man. Like once you starving.
With the protein diet, you're not, for me, I'm not going out to eat. I'm buying my own food and actually cooking it at home,
Okay.
which makes sense and helps because you're not spending money going out to eat.
Okay.
There's a huge difference in eating at home, saving money versus spending money and doing all that other stuff. And I actually saved money because I wasn't eating out as much.
Facts.
I had meal plans for the week.
Mm.
I was shown how to calculate calories. And before I knew it, I was becoming a member with Herbalife through their program to be able to get back in shape to help me
Okay.
nutrition wise.
All right. So you went through all that. Then a gym opened up, right?
The gym did not open up until January 2021.
Okay. So that's when did you start so what was the idea of the 17% body fat? The cutting period.
Well, when I first went back to the gym, and it was so different. It was not uncomfortable, it was different because I had to relearn everything. Well, back when I was playing football in high school, you had your regular machines like the presses, the squats, the stuff.
Yeah.
But so much had changed within the last 20 years or 2 decades. Different techniques that I didn't know about that I had to get a trainer to show me how to do this so that way I can do it on my own. So after following that and losing weight, I want to say that I did that for the next couple of years, maintained it, or maintained it, and still try to be healthy. And it wasn't until I started had all these things happening in my life until I got to the point where, hey, I think I can get down to 17% body fat. Um, and again, during the pandemic, I had friends who helped me mentally. One that told me don't ever give up. I had
Mm.
the other friend who I just mentioned that helped me physically, and another friend that helped me spiritually.
Mm.
That wanted me to practice patience and not force anything if I didn't have to. I never knew.
Take your time, bro. It's okay, bro. You got plenty of time, brother.
I never knew how hard that work would follow me and how it would help me because I had no idea what was coming next. Everyone was asking me if I was going to get into the cadet program again.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, there was no plans for it. It wasn't in my mind until I actually passed the test. And this was the time where I had stuff going on in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had a coworker who passed on.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I came to work, my supervisor pulled me aside and told me what happened and how it happened.
Mm-hmm.
I was in disbelief. I was shocked. I could not get out any kind of emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking to myself, this is different. While everyone was going through it at work, I thought that I was able to handle that kind of stress. And I did for a while.
Mm-hmm.
After about a week, I actually stayed at work to help out
Mm-hmm.
because they needed people to step up. And I knew I can do it and handle it.
Got it.
Until one time, people was just really just getting on my nerves to the point where I literally wanted to curse someone out.
I've been there.
And I remember telling my supervisor, I'm calling in the next day. I need to get away.
Mm-hmm.
So I go on about my business. Next day comes. And when this had happened with my coworker, it was on a Wednesday. When the next week has come, I took the day off. I was probably going to take 2 days off, clear my head. Um, went to the gym early that morning when I took the day off. Wanted to be with my family. And I remember me and my wife, my daughter, going to Tucker's because that was the spot to go to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if ever I was going to have a cheat day, that'll probably be one of my favorite spots to go to other than barbecue. So we went to Tucker's. My mom calls. And I ignored it. I didn't want to talk to her. I wasn't I wasn't there
Yeah.
for the most part due to personal reasons with me and my brother. My mom sends me a text saying that something has happened to Daniel that they call the paramedics.
Mm-hmm.
When I read that text, I knew that something was wrong. My mom don't send text messages like that.
Yeah.
So I call her and she was telling me that Daniel couldn't breathe,
Mm-hmm.
which made absolutely no sense to me at all. I'm like, what do you mean he can't breathe? And they were telling me that they're calling the ambulance to come over here to get to their house. And he can't breathe. They need to take him to their emergency room. And I told her, do you need me? And I asked her, do you need me to come over to the house right now? And she goes, no, no, no. I just wanted to let you know. And then she hung up the phone. I looked at my wife and she could automatically tell that something was wrong. So I stepped away from the restaurant and had a private conversation with my mom. I never thought that I would have to ask her on that day, that particular day, when I was just trying to get away from all the noise,
Yeah.
that Daniel died, that he passed on. And my mom was hysterically crying.
Mm.
I told Dana that we need to get to my mom and dad's house ASAP. And I was not in a position to drive. Neither
Yeah.
was my wife at that time, because she
Mm.
had her own deals going on.
Mm.
But I needed her to take over
Yeah.
because I wasn't over there.
Okay.
When we got to my mom and dad's house, the sheriff department was already there and did not allow us inside the house. Um, Talking to the deputy, he told me everything that was going on, but all the rundown of what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that this is going to probably be a long process. I want to say that we got there before the sun went down and waited and waited and waited. You know, all of these things that had to happen between the sergeants having to make scene, the coroners having to make scene
Yeah.
because his body was inside the house. And the only thing that my mom and dad says is that he wasn't breathing and that his daughter had found him like that because he was supposed to pick up his daughter from the bus stop and never did. My mom did not realize what was going on because she was asleep and Dame had already passed on by then.
Mm. Damn.
When we got the clearance to actually go see him, it was just me and my mom. I think my dad probably came in a little bit later
Mm.
after that. And I saw Daniel laid up on the bed, not more. And my mom was crying and telling him how sorry she was for not helping him.
Wow, bro. At this moment in time, I know, like, because I know you and your brother were close. And right, it's like, I'm so glad you shared this. Because I remember like something you told me, like you usually talk about on the show about how where like you guys were like wrestling fans and you made up belts and stuff like that, and like you was well, I forgot who was Hulk Hogan and somebody else the Ultimate Warrior. I forgot who
He
was
was Ultimate
which.
Warrior.
Yeah, like the closeness of it. I know you've been through so much, man. You know,
I couldn't still get any kind of emotion out. I didn't feel anything. Um,
I've been there. It was shockful.
I mean, having to deal with that back to back, first time at work and then again in your personal life isn't something that I thought that I would go through.
Oh, I know about that.
Too, too much noise.
Yeah.
Um, I know that when we had the funeral services for Daniel, my boss, the assistant chief, came, which I'm grateful for because it shows that my job had my back.
Yeah. Take your time.
It showed me that my job had my back. And my boss came at a time when we had to deal with our death at work
Yeah.
with a coworker.
Hmm.
A coworker came too, and when I got some time by myself, I just kind of put my fist towards Daniel's hand,
Mm.
and his hand was very cold. And I remember telling him that, please tell our grandfather when you meet him that I'm trying down here. Because it felt like he told me not to give up. And then the next day, I had to deal with my coworker's funeral,
Yeah.
and I could not see the body because just from where I was at, it looked different.
Back to back
I,
funeral.
I couldn't go up and see the body.
God damn.
And then following that, I had a birthday party to go to for my niece, which I wasn't feeling at all. 3 weeks later, my brother and I had this childhood friend that passed away who grew up across the street from us, which was also weird because all three deaths occurred on a Wednesday. The November 30th, the first, December 7th, the second, December 28th, the third, all happened on a Wednesday on 2022
God damn.
within that December. So when I attended the friend's funeral, we were at Forest Park Lawndale Cemetery, and I visited my grandfather's grave because that's where he was at too. And it was weird because it's like he knew what I was thinking, although I never met him. He knew what I said, even although I never met him. It drove me insane to wonder if Daniel ever made it to heaven or not, because I know he wasn't religious or spiritually.
Yeah.
To have that thought, to wonder if he made it in heaven or went to hell, really drove me insane. And I just needed some sort of sign. I got my sign when I saw my grandfather. Um, and it was weird too, because I actually looked at the date that he died, which was March 7th. And, and this is where it gets so much weirder. Because it was like if I was being told that I'm on the right path, just be patient. So I talked about the three deaths. I mentioned the three doctors that told me to lose weight. March
Mm.
7th, March is the third month of the year. The 7th was the day that my grandfather passed away.
Mm.
Oddly enough, my brother passed away too on the 7th. So March 7th was a number of 37, 3 and 7, which was how old I was when I was 340 pounds.
Mm.
You take 3 plus 4 plus 0, which equals out 7. It gets weirder because my brother was the third cousin in our generation to pass on. Not only that, his birthday, July 25th. July is the 7th month of the year. 2 and 5. 2 plus 5 equals 7. Um,
God.
at that point, I was like, I need to do something with this weight loss journey and finally get down to 17% and feel a little bit better.
Hmm.
And that's when I kept on going. I didn't stop for anyone or anything.
So you went through all that. You went to 3 and 3s. Trust me, I know about threes. I mean, I lost mother, father, and grandmother back to back to back years, and that's a tough deal to deal with. I know you. Damn, you know, but you had another one, another inspiration. At the Royal Rumble.
Edge, Adam Copeland. Yeah, because I was at the Royal Rumble prior to the pandemic. I never thought that that would help me be consistent in this journey. I'm, he came back from a triple neck fusion surgery. I think after so many years, I want to say it was 9 years that he came back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my family was there. I had my family there. We all went to the event. We had a good time. We were so happy that he came back. And remember during the pandemic, I saw this documentary, The Second Mountain, and I'm thinking to myself, this man can pull it off. I need to use that as fuel for where I want to get to.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the inspiration that kept me going.
So you had that inspiration. What happened to you in threes? But on a lighter note, I got something to ask you, man. How'd you get those tickets at Royal Rumble? Where you was at?
My
Because
wife got him.
no. How'd you get those tickets, man? Because you right there on the edge and shit when people come out. I don't know. That's expensive as fuck. Like, how'd you get those tickets?
You're gonna have to ask her. I don't know. My wife got him. She took care
Uh
of that.
huh. Danny, tell the truth. How do you get those tickets? How do you get them? Because I would like to
Babe,
know.
babe,
How do you
how'd you
get
get those
those
tickets?
tickets?
What tickets?
The Royal Rumble.
Honey, that was a head injury ago, and over 3 years. I don't remember.
She doesn't remember.
Yeah, come on, tell the truth, man. How you get those tickets?
I think I just bought them online. I really don't remember.
What?
How do you usually get the tickets?
On the floor?
Oh yeah, no, I don't know. It might have been ticket. I don't know.
She,
Mm.
Dude, that was crazy head injury.
okay, so
Anyway,
my wife deals with all the finances, all the good stuff that she has to do. I deal with all the other stuff that she can't do. That's how well we work together as a team.
I can tell I can tell this is a real podcast. Even the wife comes on. I love it.
What year was that?
2020.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I gotta ask you,
Oh,
since
it was
she's there,
it was a certain online ticket broker.
I gotta ask you a question while she's standing there. I'm gonna air this shit. How did you guys meet?
We have two different stories. I'm gonna let you tell her version first.
I vaguely remember passing him in the hallway in middle school, asking him about his brother because his brother had made a funny face in the yearbook and got it past the censors. And I was like, "Oh, you're the guy whose brother made the funny face in the yearbook," but he doesn't remember that.
I want to say I think the first one like this.
Oh my
No,
god.
it was cross-eyed too. Yeah, there it goes. There it goes. That was it.
I can picture him
Oh
singing
my
to you. I think it was something like that.
God. Oh my. Wait a minute. You know what? But before I let you go, Dana, I gotta know this because I'm gonna put this on here. How did he ask you to marry him?
There was 2 times. Uh,
Two.
yeah. I was. We were laying down in my bed at my dad's house. Nothing funny was going on. It was just cold, and he didn't have a ring, but he said he'd get one. And then about 4 or 5 months later, when I got back in town, uh, over summer break, I got a ring from him in the kitchen at his parents' house. Real quick, yeah.
Around what time did I propose to you?
Time of day?
No, the first time.
I don't know. It was cold, so it had to be after sundown.
The
It
time
was
of the year,
March 29th,
right before.
WrestleMania. Yeah, it was WrestleMania weekend.
Oh my God. Anyway.
Yeah, every
Uh,
year I have to deal with WrestleMania weekend. And
okay. All right. Dana, it's good talking to you.
you too. Y'all have fun.
This is getting better and better. Man.
So my version, that's what she remembers.
Yeah.
What I remember
Yeah.
is meeting her at the football game my senior year in high school, because that's when I started to play football.
So you don't remember her in middle school?
No, I don't. I heard of her. I know who she was, but I did not realize when I met her, that's who I was talking to.
No, this gets better and better. This is
Oh,
just
and,
getting.
and, by, and oh, and by the way, she was a football player too, guys.
That's not the first time I've heard it. That's the third time I've heard that. Sir, you went through your cutting phase, which I gotta read something to you. This is about Cindy. She told me about cutting because she's a trainer. This is crazy, right? Maybe you can relate this. I don't know what this means. Cutting calorie surplus to reveal definition. Consume power calories than you burn, 500 or under. Eating plenty of protein, healthy fats, and limited carbs. 500 calories below maintenance. I don't know what that means. You probably know what that means. You have to challenge yourself with your diet and exercise. Did you challenge yourself with the cutting, and how hard was it to cut?
During the cut, if you go back to some of my older videos,
Mm-hmm.
I was bench pressing maybe 100 pounds. When I was bulking, I was bench pressing 135 pounds.
Okay.
Now cutting back slowly, I'm still bench pressing 135 pounds. The difference is with the calories, I'm eating more protein to burn fat. At the same time, either maintaining my muscle or gaining muscle. That's the tricky part because you have to stay at a certain number and all in protein, carbs, and fats to
Okay.
still look lean. So
All right.
my number is 2,500.
Oh,
That's my limit.
goddamn. Okay.
So like when you see like the posts on Facebook where I post my food or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
there's regular omelet, oatmeal is probably one of the few sources of carbs that I have in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is pure vegetables and fats.
So you two get on my nerves, all this shit. I
What?
can't do that. I can't do all that shit. Sir, I'm going to wind this down a little bit, but before I give you the last word on your weight loss journey and everything you went through, you go give your final message. But I'm going to play a little game with you, sir.
Oh boy.
This is going
Nadine,
to be the new one.
Nadine warned me about this.
Yes, 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 yes. This is gonna be a new one. We already know how way right you met your wife. So we already know that. We already know that question. And matter of fact, did you get down on one or did you get down on your hands and knees or one knee to answer?
I don't remember.
Oh, that's fucked up. Anyway.
It was so long ago. It was over 2 decades ago.
Oh, dude, you can't remember if you got down your hands and knees?
That was a different era back then.
All right. So when you guys celebrate 25, you gonna do it again?
You mean, do I want to get married again?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. All right. There you go.
We'll probably just go on a cruise or something, or go out on a nice vacation.
You gonna get in trouble about that answer, but that's okay. Anyway. Sir, question number one. What moment in your life would you want to experience one more time?
Wow.
Get down on that knee and ask them to marry you, right?
You know, she's probably going to watch this.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Hey,
what
you want to
moment?
set it, not me. And don't ask me to edit this shit out either.
You know what moment I would want to relive in time?
What?
This was back when Tropical Storm Allison hit,
Okay.
and my house at that time got flooded. So we were renovating the entire house from
Yeah.
top to bottom. And Dana and I had lived in a van for about 6 months, just watching over the property while my mom and dad and my brother had stayed at somewhere else.
Okay.
And that's probably one of the coolest times I ever did because we lived in that van, ate off that van, had our clothes hanging in that van. Just
Okay.
basically lived in that van, just watching the house because someone had to be there. That was probably one of the coolest moments. I would want to relive that again.
But you didn't ask her to marry you in that van.
No,
Okay. All right.
no, that would just be totally wrong. No,
Sir, what was your favorite toy as a kid?
action figures,
Which one?
WWE.
Mm.
I'm gonna text you some of them, some of those pictures.
Okay.
I still collect them today.
Shit, I wish I could, but I listen. I don't got money like you, so I'm broke. Anyway, if you could have lunch with any one professional wrestler in history, who would that professional wrestler be? Living or alive? Living or dead?
Anyone?
Anyone? Living or dead?
Andre the Giant.
Wow. Yeah, y'all, man, y'all probably get down on some brisket. I tell you that now.
Stories I heard about him:
Shit.
5 lobsters, 10 steaks. Mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, sir. Which one word would you use if you're gonna use it once for the rest of your life?
You got me on that one. One word.
Yep. You know what my
One
word would
word.
be. You already know what my word would be.
Oh, one word. Ah, I don't know.
No?
Just one word. Hmm.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna use
I,
one word for the rest of your life. What would that one word be?
one word.
Mm-hmm.
I, I, man. What? What?
What? Okay. That's the word. What? Okay, sir, here we go. What is the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
Fidel.
Who?
Fidel.
What the fuck is
It's
that?
like, it's like Mexican spaghetti.
What the fuck? What's that shit look like?
Okay, so you know how you have like the regular spaghetti and you boil the noodles and add in like tomato sauce and
Yeah.
hamburger meat, whatever you want to add.
Yeah.
The Mexican fidel, it's similar to that, but the noodles are much more thinner. And instead of adding tomato sauce, they add like diced tomatoes mixed in with either chicken broth or beef broth, something like that.
That actually sounds kind of good. I ain't gonna lie to you. I
My
probably
my
try that.
daughter loves it. I can't. I thought it's weird. I can't eat it. I don't like it.
Okay. All
So
right. All right. If you could meet one person in the world, anyone, who would that person be?
if I give you one person in the world,
Yep, one person in the world. Who would that person be? One person.
what would this person have to do
Anything. Yeah, anybody. You can meet one person in the world. Who would it be?
if I can be one person in the world?
Yep.
I don't know.
I know who you want to meet.
Who?
Your Uncle Paul. That's who you want to fucking meet. That's the fuck you want to meet. Shit.
Do I want it? No, I don't want to be him.
Yeah, I want to
Do
meet
you?
Vinnie Mac. That's how I want to meet. Shit. No, actually, you know what? I want to meet Linda.
Oh, man,
Linda McMahon.
who
Come
would I
on, one
want to be?
person.
Well, that's another tough one.
That's the man.
Wow. Who would I want to be? Oh,
Anybody in the world.
uh,
Wrestler, celebrity, regular person. King Charles. I don't give a shit.
who would I want to be?
Anybody. You can meet anybody you want. Oh, dude, it ain't that fucking difficult. God damn.
Yeah, dude. There's so many choices.
Just one. Just pick anything. Any person.
Steve Austin.
Stone Cold?
Yeah.
He's an asshole in person. But go ahead. Anyway. All right. Would you rather have 20 hobbies or one single passion?
One single passion.
All right. This is a good one. You got to tell me this one. What's a hidden talent no one knows about you?
Video editing. That's something that I work hard on. I don't really put that out there. I just tap into my creativity, especially when I post messages or pictures along with that. I think that that's something I want to do or get more involved in as the
Do
years
it.
come. Huh?
Do it. Do it.
But you know,
You can do the show for me. You can edit all that shit out. Just give it right to you. Fuck that shit. I'll goddamn do it. Do it. Do it. Shit. One less on my back. Shit. Fuck that. I'm gonna give it to you for now on. Fuck all that shit.
oh shit.
Fuck that. All right. What TV series or movie you can watch multiple times?
Can be anyone,
Any TV series or movie.
either now and then.
Whenever.
I've been liking Suits.
Really? I don't like that show.
You don't like?
No,
I
I
like it.
don't like that show.
No, no.
The only TV show I can watch multiple times is the number one series ever, 24.
I would
Number
love.
one. Multiple time.
There's
Last
been
question,
mentions about
sir.
them. There's been mentions about them probably bringing back the show.
Nah.
Yeah.
Without Jack, without Kiefer, that shit ain't gonna work.
Mm.
One last question. What's one piece of advice you wish you were seriously taking? Somebody told you something, you wish you would took it.
Be more patient.
Yeah, me too, because my patience is fucking ridiculous. Anyway, sir, you have an amazing story, amazing journey. We revisited it. I'm so glad you shared more about your brother. I know how much that man means to you and your family. I know exactly how you feel on that one. Last message for people, to anybody out there, everything you explain, weight loss, patience, especially patience and dealing with life, ups and downs. Because a lot of people go through ups and downs living life, and you've been through ups and downs. What advice you can give those people?
Other than work hard, I know one friend had told me to be the change that you want to see in the world, which I took to heart because back then I did not like where I was at. I did not like where, you know, I guess what I was becoming. I wanted to see change within myself and things around me. I would say that since the pandemic, life has gotten a little bit better. I'm no longer on night shift. I'm on day shift now. I'm probably the oldest, which they call a dinosaur, the oldest supervisor in my division. Um, how can I put this without even? Because I'm not someone that really likes to brag. Um, I know financially I'm in a different part than what I used to be.
Hmm?
And even though if I wasn't, I'm still grateful because it just makes me want to do more and better and to achieve that goal that I've been wanting to achieve for so long.
Well, sir, I can tell you for me, I think you're a great man. I mean, all bullshit aside, I think you're a great man. I consider you as a great friend. You're amazing. Yeah, you do inspire. You inspire me, man, to get better. Seriously, I mean, because you're a good person. Listen, we all not perfect. We all got our faults, and we all done some shit. We all fucking human. All right, but as you and I keep on going down this journey, and I do want to calm it down somewhat, but I ain't fucking really doing it. But you know what I mean. But you do inspire me to be better because I see your posts. I talk to you all the time. You are generally a good person. And the one thing I learned in these 53 years on this earth, the more good people you surround with, the better your life will be. That's why I'm glad to have you in my life. I'm honored to have you in my life. No bullshit. But you do gotta get better with proposing to the wife though, for real, for real. You gotta get better. You gotta do something on the 25th anniversary, man. You gotta propose to her, give her a new ring or some shit. I mean, no, fuck the cruise, man. Buy a new ring for her. Danny, I got your back, girl. I got you. Don't even worry about it. I got you. Sir, I want to thank you so much for coming on. You came back on again to revisit your story. Ladies and gentlemen, this will come out in a couple of weeks. When you do see it, don't forget to watch Wrastle Talk with me and this young man, because to me, he's still a baby. He's 10 years younger than me. You know what I mean? And we both do Wrastle Talk together. He's a great individual. We will continue doing Wrestle Talk, right, until I get banned, and then he'll be doing Wrestle Talk by himself and shit for obscene language or whatever it is. Mario, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. Seriously, being a good individual, a good friend. I got mad love, mad respect for you.
Thank you, Lou. Love you, buddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next week. Next time, well, let's talk about it. Man, thank you for watching the show. Please like, subscribe, comment. Stay tuned next week for another exciting episode on Let's Talk About It.